Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Hardwood Nation podcast with your boy CL Anthony and some little short, smiley white guy right now. What's going on? You just had a smile,
You,
random smile on your
you
face.
piece of shit. You piece of shit. You call me short, like very first thing on the podcast. You're like 2 inches taller than me. It's
I don't,
pathetic. It's
2 inches
pathetic.
matter, sir. 2 inches matter,
It's,
sir.
it's pathetic. I guess since you guys haven't pulled the trigger on Dame yet, you gotta start taking shots. It's okay. It's okay.
I know I'm going to take some shots later.
Oh, I
So
know. I know. I'm ready. I'm ready. It's okay.
I've missed you. I've missed
I
you.
know,
Okay,
man. It's
and
been. It feels like it's been a while. It's been like 2 weeks, I think.
yeah, and we miss our subscribers actually. So we miss you guys. So we are back, and we are
Mhm.
better than ever. Just know we are working on some things behind the scenes. So when we do have an official, unofficial new season podcast, things are going to look a little different. So as always, we got some shit to get into. But the first thing I want to talk about is, and we're not going to spend a lot of time on this, but James Harden is still a member of the Philadelphia 76ers. And Damian Lillard is still a member of the Portland Trailblazers. Free agency has come to a standstill now, even though those two guys technically aren't free agents. James Harden is, Lillard isn't. Everything has stopped right now. There is a lot of players who have not moved because the players slash teams are waiting to see where Dame and where James Harden ends up. So my question to you is: Have do you recall seeing a slowdown this abrupt uh, in the off season?
Nothing really comes to mind, but I know one thing that we say every year is before anything else happens, like the big fish have to fall first, right?
Mhm.
So it seems odd that nothing's gotten done with Lillard and Harden yet. But I mean, it's kind of like it's kind of a sign of the Lillard situation is very interesting because even though the president, the basketball president, sent out a notification about it. It seems like it's still nobody's going to go after him except for the Heat. It seems like that's a thing. So that I I don't know if we've seen it like that before, where a deal still hasn't gotten done. Um, the Harden situation. I mean, I read something yesterday or the day before him. Harden and is it Morey? Daryl Morey?
Yeah, there are more. Yeah.
Yeah, their relationship is completely done now. Like where they used to be buddies, you know that's done. But yeah, I don't know what has to be done with the Harden situation to move him, or to get him out of there because I haven't been following that as closely. I haven't seen as many headlines about like the details of that compared to the Lillard situation. Um, but yeah, I haven't seen it. These things I don't remember last time I saw him drag on like quite this long. I think the other times we've seen people try to leave the way Lillard's leaving it got done. Um, I mean Anthony Davis was one of the last big guys to move that like early on in his contract and they still got it done. He just signed an extension I saw.
Yeah, big
So
extension.
I don't know how I don't know what's going to happen when the season starts if Lillard and Harden haven't been moved. Like it seems like sour situation. So we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, we know where Dame wants to go and where who wants him. So we just got to see if that gets done. The Harden situation, like I said, I don't know as much about. Like, do you think both of these guys go into training camp with the same team they're on now?
For the sake of the podcast, I do kind of want it because it's going to be a shit show. But but I will say Harden wants to go to the Clippers. How that will work, I have no idea. But Harden wants to end up in the Clippers. Um, as far as Dame, and I'm only talking about this for basketball reasons, of course, not because I'm a Heat fan, but for basketball reasons. As far as Dame is concerned, all I'm going to say is because yeah, the NBA did release that memo last week. Whatever. It was bullshit. I know Portland cried about that, and that's why that happened. All I'm gonna say is that you have one guy in Portland who's been in the league for a year and a half, and then you have another guy in Miami and Pat Riley who's been in the league for over 50 years. So I think one has more friends than the other, league wide, which is why no one is getting in the way of this. And I know it's driving Portland absolutely crazy that they can't find anyone to make a to make an offer because they don't want to give him to Miami.
Yeah.
Which is the most hilarious part. It's like, do you think anyone is going to cross Pat Riley on this one? No. Teams have actually said, "Hey, Miami, we will help you get Dame out of Portland," and Portland's still not biting. So, of course, the longer that this goes on, it's going to be advantage Dame, and it's just going to make Portland look worse and worse and worse. That's the funny part. Because this kid's going to be embarrassed at the end of the day. Like, he's really going to give up Dame for nothing the longer this goes. So yeah, but I'm starting to believe both players will be on the roster at training camp. Will they be at the team facility at training camp? Probably not. Probably not. All right. So
Hey, real quick, we didn't get a chance to talk about it, and I don't know if it's on the list of things to talk about today. Do you think, because after Jaylen Brown signed his Supermax contract, a lot of
congrats.
people, I usually see outside of his most recent playoff performance, most of the time Jaylen Brown gets a lot of love, a lot of praise. I saw so many people dogging him about this contract extension, and I know not to read too much into internet comments, and I say internet because you see some stuff on Facebook groups. I see some stuff on I guess I gotta call it X groups now, like whatever you want to call it, right? But anyways, I literally saw one. This is when I hopped off paying attention to it at all. So one guy said Jaylen Brown's getting this contract extension, and he might not even be the second or third best player on Boston.
That's
And
bullshit.
I went, to even get the Supermax, you have to be like all NBA, right?
Right.
You have to hit certain accolades so many years.
Right.
All of a sudden, he gets this biggest contract of all time, which in hindsight, next year and the following years, it's not going to be the biggest. The reason we're seeing these contracts start now is because the CBA changed, the cap went up, and everybody knows they're getting a new TV deal. They're going to get even more money. In a few years, this Jaylen Brown contract isn't going to be anywhere near what some of these other people get. So I get anybody who's getting the most money is going to get a little hate. But the comments I've seen towards Jaylen Brown don't even seem in the realm of people who watch basketball at all. And it's like I didn't understand the hate he was getting. I was wondering what you thought about his that contract and the reaction of people, because all of a sudden it seemed like a lot of people turned on Jaylen Brown for no reason when he's proven that he's all NBA. That it's ridiculous.
I'm never going to hate on a player for getting paid. Trevor Ariza has taught us that the craziest
contract
things
years are important.
Right. Yeah, Trevor Ariza has taught us that time and time again, and partially, even though I love him to death, Tobias Harris has done the same thing. Even though I love him to death, I love Tobias, but I'm just saying, I haven't seen the hate. I haven't been as plugged in as I should have been lately, so that's my fault. But all I thought was when Jaylen Brown got that contract was, that's great. All the money is guaranteed. He's still not going to be in Boston long. and here's why. Here's why. Jaylen Brown was drafted before Jason Tatum. He was drafted a year before Jason Tatum. So now Jason Tatum's going to want some money. So you mean to tell me between two players you're going to have $600 million? It's not going to happen. So great job for Jaylen Brown for getting the bag. Great job, bro. You're not going to be in Boston another 2 years. Because Jason Tatum is the protected guy.
If Boston trades him, aren't they in not saying they will get equal value back, but that's the goal. If you're bringing equal value back in a year or two, aren't you bringing back another contract like that anyways?
Money, yes. Length, no. So you can bring back equal value, but it can be on expiring contracts, 1 or 2 year deals. He just signed a five
Yeah,
year deal. Does that make sense?
yeah, okay.
Because they break it up. They break it up on a year by year basis. So you can bring in, yeah, the money has to match up, but the money has to match up year by year as well. So you can still get some leeway there by moving him and just having some expiring contracts involved in that. So yeah, I don't think he's going to be in Boston long at all. But I mean, I was happy because they made this deal, so I was like, hey, well, now that he signed this contract, they can't trade him this year, so they're out of the Dame sweepstakes if they were even in it to begin with. So I was happy. Advantage Miami. All right, because we know Boston hates us and fuck Boston. Absolutely fuck Boston. Um, but I love Jalen Brown. Hey Jalen, when Jimmy retires in about 3 years, yeah, okay, we'll take that contract. We'll take it. All right. I tell you what, I was actually sick for much of the last couple of weeks while we wasn't recording. I just didn't tell anybody, but I was kind of sick, and I called out from work a day, and I was laying in bed, and I saw the Players Association release this memo, and I'm like, "What the fuck is this? Like, what's going on?" And I was so caught off guard because I didn't even know this happened. And some of you may know, me and Bryce actually live in Florida, and for various reasons right now, Florida is a shit show for the last 6 months. Just for
Now, let's say the last 10 years.
what? Yes, but more so now. Okay,
Yeah,
and we're
yeah, yeah.
not and we're not going to go deep into the political bullshit, but I have to address this because once I researched what had happened, what was done to prompt the Players Association's response, I was actually kind of disgusted with the Players Association. I gotta pull this up. Hold on. This is courtesy of ABC News, y'all. This was a national news story. The Orlando Magic finally got some press nationwide. So apparently,
Got you.
apparently, the Orlando Magic, who is owned by the DeVos family, who are staunch Republicans,
Hmm.
donated. Hold on, what's the number? Hold on, people. Donated $50,000 to Ron DeSantis' super PAC 5 days before he announced his campaign for the president of the United States. So, one, I'm black and I live in Florida. And our governor feels like slavery was a good thing because it taught slaves good things. Let me say this. There's absolutely no issue that I have with the Orlando Magic / their owners donating 50 $50,000 to a candidate that they support. There is no law against this. There is absolutely nothing wrong with this. Betsy DeVos was a member of the Trump cabinet for 4 fucking years. We all know this. Why on earth did the Players Association feel like they had to release this statement? Let me read this. Hold on. Yes, okay. NBA governors, players, and personnel have the right to express their personal political views, including through donations and statements, the Players Association said. However, if contributions are made on behalf of an entire team using money earned through the labor of its employees, it's incumbent upon team governors to consider diverse values and perspectives of staff and players. The Magic's donation does not represent player support for the receipt. Now, when I saw that the Orlando Magic made this donation, not one time did I say, ooh, maybe a player did this. I know there was speculation that Jonathan Isaac had did this. No, there was no fucking player involved in this. It was the organization that is run by the DeVos family, which runs one of the most crooked pyramid schemes in the United States in Amway. The money came from Amway. I assure you that the money did not come from the Orlando Magic organizations itself. It came from Amway because they're fucking crooks. So technically speaking, this is not money that was generated by employees of the NBA. Bryce, what do you think about this story? Do you think it's foolish? Do you think the National Basketball Players Association should have even addressed this? What's going on?
The only problem I have with it, because everything you said was factual, and as a Magic fan, I know where the money comes from. I know who the owners are. I know all this. I also know that most team owners across any league also kind of lean this way because that's the way most billionaires lean, conservative.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
My problem is, um, you have multiple outlets to send this money. It's not even a lot of money to them. All right, but you didn't have to use the Orlando Magic name, and that's the only thing that I just for this reason alone, the optics, because they didn't do anything out of character. Like you said, that this is what we expect from the family that owns the team. All right, like you said, the daughter, whatever her name was, she was literally in Trump's cabinet. Right? We know what these people are about. The only reason the Players Association, I feel like, had to send out this memo was because Ron DeSantis is on this run, and he's, for better or for worse, I do not support him, but for better or for worse, I don't support any governor in Florida right now that I know is running or thinking about running. All right, but he's getting headlines across the nation with certain policies, right?
For all the wrong reasons.
Yes, all the wrong reasons, right? And that's what this is. This is a story for clicks because the guy that they sent money to is very polarizing right now. And he's trying to be polarizing because he's trying to garner attention because he's making a presidential run. I get it. We've seen all this before. My problem is none of it is new. It's not really a story for a story. It's a story because everything is slow right now and people need clicks. I get it. I get it. You know, we talk about stuff on here that we feel is important, right? So someone else, if they make their money this way, you know, they're looking for everything they can get. I think immediately hypocrisy because there's so many things, genuine like humanitarian type issues that we could talk about here that basketball or basketball players are related to, but we don't talk about China, we don't talk about Nike. We don't talk about these things because everybody already knows them, right? Okay. This is the same thing in my eyes. People like to pick on Orlando and pick on Florida sometimes, so I get it, you know? But there's really no news here. And for the Players Association to comment on it, like I said, I think it has more to do with DeSantis' political stances right now and what he's doing. So that's the biggest issue, and it's not even like, you know, that doesn't even bother me because it's not like I'm a DeSantis supporter. So none of that bothers me. I just wish the Magic had chosen, or the DeVos family would have chosen a different way to donate the money, just so that we don't get this attention, because we already know. We already know what it's going to do, and they don't care. You know, billionaires don't care about the fucking optics as much.
Right.
You know, unless you're Elon Musk and you do care for some reason, but. I don't even think I just see a lot of hypocrisy and a lot of clickbaiting for a story that if you're already paying attention shouldn't be news. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad we could talk about it and get it out of the way because it seems dumb to me, but I get it.
This is what I'm gonna say. Yeah, God knows I don't care.
You didn't even care when
One.
your own building had to get renamed because you had a sponsor that was bamboozling everybody, including the government. But nobody cares about that. Just slap a different name on there, move on. And then you're
I
good.
think we mentioned it. I think we
Oh,
mentioned
we
it.
mentioned it, but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like, it's crazy.
Th- th- this is what I'm gonna say. Like I said, this this is not a political show, but we live in Florida, so we see this shit every day. Okay, we see it. We see it every day. Not to get personal, but I know you have someone very close to you that's in the educational system, and I know you have a child that's in the educational system. I am so happy that my kids are grown and not in the educational system right now because Ron DeSantis is a piece of shit. He's an absolute piece of shit. And this failure is gonna be epic, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. So that's
Mhm.
it.
And I'll add this to it because like we don't need to go down this road too much. I'm a firm believer in you go to school and you get taught certain things, right? It is on. I'm not agreeing with it at all, but it is on your parents and your family
Yes,
and your
yes,
community to make
yes,
sure you fill in the gaps of what they're not giving you at school.
yeah, yeah,
Okay, and that's going to become more important than ever.
yeah.
It's disgusting. It's disgusting.
I need to get my hands on this stuff because I think it's approved, so I do need to get my hands on it one day. 'Cause I just want to see the wording of it.
You
All
think
right,
Kanye's going to support him because of these comments?
this is what I'm gonna say, and then and we're gonna end this conversation with this. We've got to move on, but this is what I'm gonna say. He already shot himself in the foot.
Hmm.
There is absolutely no way that he's going to be the Republican nominee, which is sad because he had the most momentum coming in, and this is an epic failure on his part.
No, he's been
Um,
blowing it for like a month, 2 months now. Since
look,
since he announced, he's been
he
just blowing
announced
it.
it. He announced it 2 months ago, so yeah, it's been a total shit show. But the bad thing is, if he doesn't run or if he doesn't get the nomination, then we're stuck with him. So it's like, fuck, we're screwed either way. All right, moving right along. Ah, I have to put in my time off next week for next Saturday because I'm going to try to take the day off because next Saturday, Dwayne Tyrone Wade Jr. is going to be inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame, alongside of Dirk Nowitzki, alongside of Tony Parker and Coach Popovich that we talked about on our last podcast. I'm going to let you start. Um, when you first saw Dwayne Wade, did you think we would end up here?
Yep, yep, without doubt.
Ugh.
As long as he stayed healthy and played, I thought. Um, first couple times I saw him, um, like I said, I was just getting back into the NBA a little bit, and he instantly, because of the style of play I like to watch, he instantly became my favorite player to watch. And so uh, a guy like that, as talented as he is, I always just reference if they can stay healthy or not. It's kind of gonna be, especially with the NBA Hall of Fame, that'll be just almost like what keeps him out of it. Because if he just is able to play his accolades and what he's gonna do in games and on the USA teams, that's gonna be enough to get him into the Hall of Fame because he's just too fantastic of a player. He was too impactful. Like I said, I can't say enough good things about Dwayne Wade, and I'm not even a Heat fan. Like I said, that's what his style of play and the timing of me watching basketball again. That's who became my favorite player at the time. So no, for me, it's not surprising at all. I know the first time I watched him that he was great. And I'm sure a lot of people have the same sentiment.
Yeah,
I know what he means to you.
I remember watching the famous triple double game against Kentucky in college, and one of the few college basketball games I've watched, and I saw it. I'm like, okay, this kid had something. And on draft night, I was thinking we should get a big because we had our guards. And then they drafted Dwayne Wade, and I was like, oh, okay. I said, all right, well, I remember the kid, triple double in the tournament against Kentucky. Okay, I remember the kid. He might have something. And when I was watching that Kentucky game, I remember them talking about how mature he was. Jesus Christ, my AirPods are falling out. How mature he was, and how he already had a son, and yada yada yada. The bullshit story that the media likes to talk about, right? So we drafted him. Of course, he couldn't shoot for shit. Couldn't shoot for shit. Crashed to the basket. All that good stuff. Um, I have never in my life, outside of LeBron James and this current generation of players, seen anything like a healthy Dwayne Wade. From the leadership, don't quit. Um, if you could take LeBron James, Russell Westbrook, sprinkle a little bit of Kobe Bryant, sprinkle a little bit of Steve Francis, and Allen Iverson, who's inducting Wade into the Hall of Fame, you have Wade. And he means the absolute world to me. And for a long time, I wouldn't say he was the greatest player in Heat history. I always say it was Alonzo Mourning because I was waiting for Wade to retire to give him that. He is absolutely the greatest player to ever put on a Heat jersey. And he's gonna have that until Jimmy Butler gets us a ring. Because I still think Jimmy's gonna do it. But right now, Dwayne Wade is the greatest Heat player I have ever seen, and I am so happy uh, that one, he was named one of the 75 greatest players of all time, but two, that if the Lord can keep me alive until next Saturday, which is the 12th, I will be witnessing him going into the Hall of Fame, and he will be the first player that I saw from start to finish that I followed to go into the Hall of Fame. So that's going to be beautiful for me. Um, as far as Dirk, who's ironically matched up against Wade twice in the finals. How do you feel about Dirk going in?
Oh, I mean, you'd argue he's the greatest foreign player of all time. So, I mean, watching what he did at, the year that they won their championship, something that's always stuck with me. Um, it was a game after they had beaten OKC, and the media was they had Durant up there answering questions, and they asked him, what do you think about the way Dirk's playing? Because basically Dirk carried that team through the entire playoffs and in the finals, not just the finals, but the entire run.
Right.
And Durant said, "Well, he's a 7-footer who's not missing," and that pretty much sums up that entire run. And and to do that is so hard and is so impressive that it's always stuck with me. We don't see a lot of teams or a lot of players, even the greats. I almost feel like they did it on their own. And I know he had a good team around him, things like that. But it's like, make no mistake, Dirk won that championship. And just it's one of the most like dominant performances that I can remember. And I know he's not summed up in that one that one year, the year he won the championship. I know that doesn't sum up his whole career, but it's like the cherry on top. And for the way he did it, it's just not common to see,
Oh, the
even
VP on
amongst
crack.
NBA players. So it's just something that's always stuck with me. And his style of play, it was never like the most, I guess, exciting. But a big man who can play like that. It was always fun to watch. The little fade away, kick fade away that he patented so well, that he's known for, that they have a statue of. I think they have a statue of him hitting that thing. Um, there's just nothing like Wade. There's just nothing to negative, I feel like, to say about these two, their NBA careers. Like, it's just the accolades speak for themselves. They have championships. They're well respected by every other player in the league. It's nothing but flowers for those guys. Nothing but respect, and I'm happy I got to see as much of them as I did. I'm less interested and thrilled about Parker. Not saying anything negative. I just wasn't a fan of him like that. Like, for me on those Spurs teams, I was way more interested in Duncan and Ginobili. Like, that's just my personal take on it. Not taking anything away from Tony Parker. I just didn't pay as much attention to him at the time. I can't hear you.
We had some technical difficulties.
There you go. Now I can hear you.
All right. No, what I was going to say was that God knows I'm off the rails today. I was going to say we got two Hall of Famers and a bitch ass nigga in the middle. All right.
Oh, oh my God, that's disrespectful.
I know. I'm so off the rails today, but it's real and it's raw, people. It's real and it's raw. So, a couple of things before we wrap up, because we're hitting our time. Hindsight is always 2020. But I'm always gonna have the memories, even though I know for a fact that Dirk missed shots. But I'm always gonna have the memory that it looks like Dirk never missed a shot in that 2011 run. He was incredible, and as some people like to call him, German Jesus. During that time, he was absolutely that, because he didn't miss. He didn't miss at all. Everyone got roasted. Everyone got that work from Dirk. Um, I will say this. I want to end it with this because this is pissing me off. It has been pissing me off. It's gonna always piss me off. To the youngins out there, I love you and I respect you, and you keep the game going every year. I get it. To Jeff Teague, you were a low level player who did nothing in this league. Period. This this false narrative that James Harden is better than Dwayne Wade has to stop. And I'm going to throw Paul Pierce in there too.
I was waiting for this.
It has to fucking stop. Paul Pierce, who I love playing basketball off the court, is turning into a vengeful piece of shit. Okay? Jeff Teague, who the fuck are you? What have you done? Nothing. Okay.
I
To the
forgot
young,
about Jeff Teague until just recently, these comments.
to the young fans who play NBA 2K and watch Stephen A. Coon yell at the TV every morning. Oh, there's one more thing I'm going to mention too. I'm sorry. There is no way on God's green earth that an eye test would tell you that James Harden, who is great in his own right, is a better, more impactful, more of a leader, a fucking champion 3 times over. We have to stop this. James Harden can't even lick Dwayne Wade's boots. What are we doing? Paul Pierce is a champion. I get it. I love you to death. I swear to God, I do. You got your ring. Shut the fuck up. It's over. This Heat Boston thing is over. Stop it. This disrespect of Dwayne Wade, who was one of the nicest guys in it. Yeah, he's a hoe. Okay, he's a hoe. They're all hoes. Okay, I get it. He's a closet case. Hey, Dwight Howard, how you doing? Okay, I get it. I get it. Dwayne Wade is eclectic off the court. I get it. But James Harden, you know who you fuck too. Just saying. Um, I don't understand why now this conversation keeps coming up when this guy's finna go into the fucking hall. I don't understand it. I do not understand Dwayne Wade hate. I don't know where it's coming from.
It's not like the other players are catching comparisons right now. The way he like, I don't know why this is always a thing.
Yes, I don't get it. It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. It is so dude, it's so fucking frustrating. Yeah, okay. I'm finna get a little personal. Yeah, Dwayne Wade was a hoe off the court. Yes, James Harden is a hoe off the court. Guess who got more distracted with that? James Harden. Dwayne Wade was still out there winning championships and scoring titles. James Harden was winning scoring titles, but they wasn't doing shit in the playoffs. And it's not even close. It's not even close. And the last thing, I swear to God, this is the last thing because I know we got to run. A show that we watch a lot. Shannon Sharp left the Undisputed with Skip Bayless. I am so sick and tired of this. And yes, I understand we're black and white, but yeah, we're very close friends. I am so sick of this black white shows with the white girl in the middle because now Skip Bayless has announced that Lil Wayne is going to be his partner on that show. I am so disgusted by that. I can't. Lil Wayne hasn't been relevant in hip hop in over 10 years. I don't understand why Skip Bayless has this affection for him. And I don't want to hear Lil Wayne break down my sports. I don't. I really don't.
Don't disrespect Lil Wayne. He's a legend.
He hasn't
He's a
been relevant
legend.
in over 10 years.
He stays
He,
relevant like the old
he's
rappers
not.
do. He's as
He's not.
relevant as Jay-Z, Eminem, anybody who peaked, T.I. trying to do comedy. Come on. These
They're
guys, they
done.
have to keep living their lives.
There has beens and they're done, and there's no way that Lil Wayne should be the co-host on this fucking show.
Everybody's trying to be Snoop Dogg.
And he hasn't been relevant in 20 years. So
Oh, he
there's
stays relevant. Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
there's a difference. There's a difference between being relevant and then being accepted by pop culture. There's a difference. There's a really difference. So I'm speaking from relevant from a not necessarily a street cred perspective, but once someone crosses over to pop culture, we're pretty much done with you. You guys love them. We're pretty much done with you. That's what I'm saying. I don't think Lil Wayne should be on this show as the co-host to Skip Bayless. I'm absolutely disgusted by that. So
You don't like Lil Gremlin?
I have a relative that that thinks Lil Wayne is the hottest man ever alive, and she needs to have the shit slapped out of her. So, with that said, please like, subscribe, and share our content. Let us know if you love us. Let us know if you think Lil Wayne is going to be a good choice for Skip Bayless. I'm not going to watch that
Could
show
be
anymore.
entertaining for a few episodes. We'll see.
Yeah, like 2, and then it's gonna it's gonna be over with. We love and appreciate you all. Everyone stay safe, and we are out.